Hi, how's everybody doing? It's Paul from Magpie 24/7, out and about again with another view from the van, and looking forward to tomorrow's game against Aston Villa at St James's Park. Those unfortunate bastards from down south have pulled the short straw and they have to make the journey up to St James's Park. Nobody in the Premier League at the moment wants to sort of really take us on. In all honesty, we are one of the form teams. We're clear at the top actually of the form table. We're playing good football. The stadium's bouncing. The positivity, the energy, everything is moving in the right direction, and nobody, like I say, wants to take us on at the moment. But it is them who make that journey up, and it's one of those games. It's one of them oppositions that I am desperate, even more so than normal, just to get the one over. Long in the memory is the celebrations of course, when we got relegated, and how much they enjoyed and took the piss. And it's left a little bit of a little bit of needle in between this fixture ever since. Of course, we've had a cracking record at St James's Park in recent years against this lot. Last year, earlier in this calendar year, it was a very, very close game, but Newcastle, of course, before we had a penalty during the game, but it was later turned into a free kick, which Kieran Trippier took full advantage of, and of course Newcastle United took a very, very crucial, a very important 1-0 victory, courtesy of that goal. And despite going close many times, I seem to remember Saint-Maximin had one of them days where it just wasn't going in, but he was hitting them from every sort of angle. And we hung on, we got the 3 points, and that was all that matters. This time around, I've got a feeling it's going to be a different type of game. You've got a caretaker manager in charge of Aston Villa who knows that his time is up after this game. Unai Emery, we'll get to him in a minute, is going to be the new manager of Aston Villa, the poor bastard from the first. Let's see if this lad manages to last longer than a fucking goldfish from the fair, because that's how long the normally bastard last. Aston Villa managers, that is, and you know, not goldfish, but yeah, they don't really give him too long down there to be able to change anything or implement anything, so we'll see how that one goes. But for the weekend, it's the caretaker setup. They've been working with the players all week, and it's going to be interesting, because I think, look, they're going to go for it. They've got nothing to lose. They're playing a very informed Newcastle side, and as the caretaker manager goes, he might as well have a go for it and try and, score a few goals and try and get, a huge 3 points for them. Obviously, with them lingering sort of lower down the table. And Eddie Howe will always, especially at home, want to attack, try and score goals. So it could be two attacking teams going for it, and it'll be a case of whose is bigger, isn't it, at the end of the day. Some dick swinging going on in this game. I'm predicting a few goals as well in this game. It could be 3 or 4 goals shared amongst the two teams. So it's important that Newcastle get the early possession, get the early impetus and everything else behind us, and score that early goal, and then I think we can go on and dispatch these by a couple of goals to nil. Newcastle obviously as well this season, ultra tight at the back, so that would be a good sign. Again, if you can get ahead, then you just hope, with regards to our defensive unit, it continues to do its fantastic job. The meanest defence in the Premier League, and then we get these 3 points. And again, we're not reading too much into league positions at the moment. It's nice. It's a nice thing to say. It's much better than where we were a year ago. But yeah, 3 points continues to keep us up there, and it continues to annoy folk. It continues to ruffle feathers. It continues to remind all of these greedy 6 bastards that look, it may take us a little bit longer because of all the constraints of FFP and the like. But we are coming. This is a different animal. It's a different beast to what you've seen before. Things are getting better, and Newcastle United are going to have their time, and that time is coming sooner rather than fucking later. As Eddie Howe would say, he's alright for it if you want to call it sexy football, and it's certainly been sexy football recently. And at the weekend, going away, we played Manchester United, Everton, and then Spurs, and going away to 2 of those venues, Old Trafford and the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. difficult physically and mentally. But it just shows you how on tune and how finely tuned the Newcastle machine is, that we can go and continue and churn out professional result after professional result. And it's just going to be more of the same. You know, Eddie Howe's meticulous approach. He likes to micromanage things. He likes to analyse things. He likes to have the stats, the data. All of that will be getting looked upon. And I think I'm confident that we will get another victory, and it will come at the expense of Aston Villa. But yeah, they're going to go for it. There's no doubt about it. They've got nothing to lose and potentially everything to gain before Unai Emery rolls in. And it's a peculiar appointment for me because, you know, your new ownership and stuff like that, they're not sort of sticking with a similar styled manager and trying to get the clubs playing a certain type of football and have a DNA imprinted into that club. It's just from one to the other, and the chopping and the changing personnel and the changing style and the changing everything, as opposed to finding the style, sticking with it and getting a manager to fit into that vision and try and build the club up that way. They're not trying that, they're trying something different. I personally don't think that in years to come that there'll be much competition for us. I think there's a ceiling for them at the moment with, you know, their ownership and everything else like that. Obviously a lot of it comes down to money and everything in today's modern football. So yeah, he can go down there, no doubt he'll improve things in the short term, but long term it'll be, like I say, it'll be goldfish job. You know, if he can get a season or so. You've got to remember back just a year ago, all the fanfare with Steven Gerrard. They were going to do this, they were going to do that. He was better than Eddie Howe. Wasn't Eddie Howe the bloke who relegated Bournemouth? So on and so forth. And then a year on, and it's just like you lose a few games, the fans quickly depart Villa Park. Villa Park has a lot of empty seats, and then they make a reaction based upon that. The manager's gone, despite the fact that he was the best thing since fucking sliced bread only a season ago, and he had to pay all that money to get him in, and so on and so forth. So yeah, Aston Villa, they're going to have that rocky sort of up and down thing. I don't think they'll ever be in trouble of real relegation, despite the struggles this season. I don't see them in being involved in that, but I don't see them in the upper reaches of the Premier League. I just can't. No doubt Unai Emery, he's done fantastic things abroad, but he's yet to do it in the Premier League, and it's just different gravy, you know. You've got to remind yourself that fucking Marcelino looked alright in the Spanish leagues. You've got to remind yourself of these sorts of things before just saying, well, he's done it there, so he can do it here. It's different. It's the same, but different. It's football, but it's different football. You get my gist. But that's enough about Aston Villa. I couldn't give a rat's ass, to be honest. If they went down, yeah, so what? I just wanted to get one over on them and shut up the likes of Gabby or Bonlahor, because we'll never hear the fucking end of it if they were to get some sort of result against us or something like that, because yeah, the bloke is liquid fucking diarrhea on the radio. So yeah, Newcastle to rock up and to get the points. A couple of players coming back from injury, which is going to help. I think the bench will be boosted certainly this weekend. Press conference today has just finished, and Eddie spoke to Elliot Anderson. He's back, he's fit and available, he'll be on the bench. And so should Alan Saint-Maximin. He has been doing extremely well in his recovery. Things have been going well, and he is an option. Now you take into consideration as well, of course, John Joe Shelvey is back in amongst the mix. She'll have Shelvey on the bench, and you mix in the other people who are on the bench, and all of a sudden it starts looking a lot better, a lot more healthier, with a lot more options and different things, and it just gives Eddie Howe more tools to be able to do his job. And when it gets into the second half, and if the game is just, you know, a goal or so in it, if it's a bit of a, you know, a cagey one, if it's not as expected, and I do expect goals, but if it is cagey, he'll have the options to be able to change things and change style and change system from the bench. So that's absolutely fantastic. It'll be great to get the Saint back for one, because we haven't seen him enough this season. And this is what, you know, you got to pinch yourself. We're fourth in the table. We've got Isaac, who's played 3 games, and I think Saints played 4 this season. So, you know, after this World Cup break, which you already know, I think it's a bit fucking daft having the World Cup like this, but as that may be, after this break, having those two available again, talking about options from the bench, talking about being able to rotate players, look after players, protect players from injury and fatigue and all that sort of thing. That is absolutely fantastic. A 60 million and a 40 million pound player who you barely had for this first half of the season, we can call on them, after this break. And it's going to be a massive boost to the team, and a team that's already in fourth in the table. Yeah, it's still quite early in the season, but it's more the more the better, the more the merrier. And then of course we've got January coming up, and the next trading window is going to be open before we know it. And again, it gives us a chance to sort of reshuffle the deck and improve in areas. Already rumblings about a few players possibly going out, the likes of Javier Manquillo linked with a move back to Spain on loan. I think that makes sense only if Newcastle can get a player in, and it's that sort of deal. I don't think there's going to be major change in January, but I also certainly think that we will be buying a few in and selling a few, and I think that's the way it's going to be every transfer window until we're a little bit more established, until the squad's a little bit more where it needs to be. Because we've touched on previous videos, the first team, we've got a fantastic first team, and plus probably a couple of options for the bench, but it's that squad. You've got to have the quality throughout the 25, the depth throughout the 25, and that perhaps hasn't always been there. Eddie's looked around at the bench and thought, I need something, and he hasn't had that option. So it's about improving the quality of the squad as much as improving the starting 11. And over the next couple of windows, or the next couple of goes, things will get better for us. There's no doubt about it. We are a club on a massive upward trajectory and everything. Things are good. It's also good out there, like I said, the amount of injured players is coming down. That is a little bit of a relief, because we've gone through a period of again having to pay Callum Wilson week in and week out, and that's always a dangerous thing. And I hope for the lad as well, with the World Cup so close, I pray that his fitness continues. He's done fantastically in this past week, fantastically all the time he's been available, and I think he deserves, and he's desperate to get on the plane to go to Qatar in this World Cup. So for him, after all the fantastic stuff he's done for our club, I would be desperate for him to get on that plane. It would mean a lot to him, most definitely. And you never know, Fanny Face Southgate, he might be in attendance for this weekend's game. There's players on Aston Villa side, there's players on Newcastle side who would come into the reckoning, so he'll be wanting to take the game in, and he'll be wanting to put in an impressive performance. And if he does that, if Callum Wilson can bag a few, who knows, Kieran Trippier score a free kick, keep another clean sheet, Nick Pope keep that clean sheet, it's got to be impressing Mr. Fanny Face with his World Cup squad on the horizon very shortly. He's got to pick, hasn't he, the players who he's going to be taking with him. So give him some food for thought, put a good performance on, get the 3 points for us. We've got players coming back. I think they've got 1 or 2 as well who's coming back. I think Digne might be coming back this weekend. Obviously there was that whole thing about will he, won't he come to the club previously. We've got Target, Matt Target. He'll be desperate to be joining in for this game. He'll want to obviously get one over his old team, but at the moment Dan Burn on form is just keeping him out, and that's unfortunate because I don't think Target's done jack shit wrong, but nor has Dan Burn. So it's a difficult thing to be able to decide for Eddie, and he's got lots of selection headaches. No doubt there's players knocking his door down, wanting game time, wanting minutes, and it's difficult. Personally, for the starting 11, I would suggest he would probably not change again, because it's a winning formula. It's a well-oiled machine. It's a team that knows what they're doing and what's expected of them. It's producing what Eddie's been asking for. So I can't imagine any changes. So in that, do you keep Willock in the middle? Do you keep Joe Linton out wide left? Do you swap those two positions around because obviously Willock can do a job out there, or do you bring a Jacob Murphy back in, or do you risk a Saint-Maximin starting from at the beginning of the game? These are all huge things, but I just got a feeling that it's going to be a completely unchanged starting 11, and the changes are going to come on the bench with your aforementioned Saint-Maximins and Andersons and the like coming back in. And massive credit. And even what we didn't really touch upon before, Sean Longstaff keeping his place in the team on absolute merit again. Been fantastic to see. He's getting back to the sort of Sean Longstaff of old when he was being linked to the likes of Manchester United and everything. But it goes to show you again, doesn't it, what happens when you have an extended run in the team, what happens when you've got the fitness behind you, and when you actually coach and you've had a proper pre-season, and not of somebody who's got a fucking head shaped like a cabbage. Sorry, Steve Bruce. So yeah, the change in the likes of Sean Longstaff, and again, they are in there on absolute form. You can't say it's a player for us to just be for a body, or because we've got injuries in certain areas or whatever. Sean Longstaff has been absolutely fantastic recently, and that was summed up by the second goal we scored against Spurs. We wouldn't have scored that if it wasn't for the harrying and everything that Sean Longstaff did to get the ball out to Miggy to score another worldie. And yeah, speaking about Miggy, absolutely and utterly fantastic again. The lad is going to have his own goal of the season competition. There's no doubt about it in my head, and I'm stuck in bastard traffic still. Yeah, he's going to have a goal of the season competition all to himself. It's literally going to be all of Miggy's goals when it comes to the end of the season at this rate. Another beautiful goal, to wrestle the ball, show that physicality to get the ball off. I think it was Session, wasn't it, for Spurs. Then beating a couple of Spurs players and then curling a beautiful ball around Lloris, who, he's no bad keeper. I know the Callum Wilson, what happened with that, but he's not a bad keeper at all, and he's certainly not a bad shot stopper. So it was a thing of absolute greatness in my book, that goal. And the question will be, can he continue the run on? And I think at the moment, every time he gets the ball anywhere near the box, he will mentally be thinking straight away, I'm going to score a goal. Straight away. And his confidence, he's always a player who's played with a smile, even under Bruce. You sort of sat there and wonder, is that fucking smile surgically attached or is it tattooed on? But he's playing with an absolute huge smile at the moment. It's fucking Joker style smile. And yeah, him himself, and he won't need it to talent to him, he'll know, he'll be like, as soon as I get the ball around the box, I'm going to score. And that, that's the difference. That's absolutely amazing. What a turnaround. What a fucking turnaround for this lad. And I'm over the moon for him, because I've always stuck with Miggy. I've always thought he was a cracking player. Always admire his dedication, his hard work, his graft, his application. It's just been those. It's just been the shooting positions. He's always got into the positions, but his shooting boots, whatever boots he's got on at the moment, please do not change them, because they've obviously got the Midas touch. But he will be sitting there thinking, I'm going to score another one. I'm going to go out there and score. And he's got that mindset, and he's got that mentality, no doubt about it. And that's probably egging on the likes of Callum Wilson. Miggy's still our top scorer, remember? And every time Callum Wilson scores one, Miggy's like, well, I'll have another one back just to keep me an advantage a little bit. And again, it's like a healthy competition. It's really, really good to see. It's fantastic to see, and getting goals from not only a centre forward but getting midfielders chipping in as well is absolutely crucial, because there's the likes of Joe Willock, who's yet to chip in this season, and I think he's capable of scoring a lot of goals. So you never know. This weekend could be a weekend where Willock can get some, and this is what I'm on about with the goals and the confidence about the goals this weekend, because we have got goals in the team all around us. Before you get even to the likes of Bruno, Joe Linden can win, Willock, I still stand by, can score goals in this league. Very athletic, likes to run. Miggy as well. Callum Wilson clearly. And even our defenders, Fabian Schär, likes to chip in with the odd thundercunt here and there. Trippier is a danger, of course, on free kicks. So, you know, even the defence can chip in with goals. And it can't be too long before we get like a Dan Burn goal or something like that, because with his height, with his capabilities of corners and stuff like that, the danger that he possesses of corners, it can't be too long. So it could be a case this weekend of one of them games where everything just clicks, and we've got so much potential to cause Aston Villa problems that we end up scoring your threes or your fours or more. So fingers crossed that we get that. That's my feeling. Unchanged team. Obviously the changes coming on the bench clearly. The fact that I think we'll have a few goals in this game. The fact that I'm desperate as well for us to get a victory over this lot. Can't stand the bastards. Can't stand them for what they did and the joy they took in our demise. And yeah, who's laughing now? Fucking hell, who's laughing now? But yeah, Newcastle continue the positive momentum going on. Can't wait to get to the game, to sample the atmosphere, and hopefully see Newcastle smash Villa, get another 3 points and get another couple of goals. Let me know what you think down below about the team sheet. Will there be some changes? Is it just a case you think that eventually there's got to be changes and you can't keep going on playing the same team all the time? So yeah, let me know about what you think about the team. What's the score going to be as well? And what do you think about Aston Villa supporters and the fans and the club as well? Interested to get your view on that down below, because like I say, I wouldn't get them steam off my piss, but yeah, interested to see what you guys and girls think as well about Aston Bastard Villa. And in the meantime, if you could click the subscribe button. It's been going on a steady climb up over recent days, which is, you know, fantastic to see. Don't do this for any other reason, but it's just a little bit of you know, it's a good feeling when you hit sort of landmarks and goals and stuff like that. And we are now getting towards the final 100 to get to the first 1,000 on the YouTube page. So that is you know, absolutely fantastic. Top of that, obviously we're approaching 30,000 on Facebook. Twitter's doing great, not far behind, and TikTok as well. It's got up. It's been absolutely huge this week. Every time I've logged on and I've posted something, and you see the numbers go up and up and up. We only set that off literally what 2-3 months ago, and 6,500 of yous following us on there. So again, massive thank you. We do it because we're passionate about the club. You know, we enjoy what we do. So yeah, it's a great feeling when you see those sort of clocking up, as it were. And yeah, fantastic, absolutely fantastic backing from everybody in the community and stuff like that. So right, anyway, I better get back to work. Still got some bloody graft to do. You know what I mean, Mr. No Days Off. So I'll get back and I'll do some graft, and then get ready for tomorrow's game, make the journey up, and let's hope it's the worthwhile for the 230 mile round trip up to God's country to be able to see tomorrow's game and hopefully see us put them to the sword. Please, Newcastle, couple of goals, bit of entertainment, and then let's just keep ourselves in that higher echelons, and who knows where it can go, who knows how far it can go. I'm sure Leicester, when they had that magical season, didn't think they were going to do anything, and it was just one game at a time and keep enjoying the ride, and that is exactly what we're doing. Yeah, it's going to, you know, it's not going to get to the same sort of situation, but we are enjoying the ride after years of being forced to eat dog shit under fucking Steve Bruce and Mike Ashley and fucking slip-on shoes Charlie. To be enjoying this, enjoying the football so much, it's a fucking godsend, an absolute godsend. So yeah, I want to get back to graft. Got a few more jobs to do today before getting ready to head up home. And and then get ready for tomorrow. So yeah, let me know down below. Take care, keep it tuned, and I'll speak to you later.